Please join me in prayer. Thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful day, this gorgeous midwinter morning, crisp in the morning, warm in the afternoon. We are truly blessed to live on this beautiful planet and in this beautiful area of California. Thank you for each person that walked through that door this morning. Each open heart, each open mind, each with the heart of a seeker, striving to understand the ways of Spirit more deeply, more profoundly. I give thanks for that spiritual hunger, that spiritual thirst that resides in each one of us, and that we support in one another in this beloved community. And I give thanks for this new year, this opportunity to make changes that we've thought about sometimes for years. But this is the opportunity to shed our old skin, to change the direction of our path, and to write a new future for ourselves. And I know that's why everybody is here today, because that's what we're about. Spiritual growth, transformation, and creating the world that we want to live in. So I know that our time together this morning unfolds perfectly, profoundly, filled with love, joy, laughter, peace, poise, and power. Because these are the qualities of Spirit, and they pour forth through each of us. So I just let this prayer go, knowing it has already been established in the heart and mind of Spirit, and cannot help but unfold perfectly. So I just let it be so. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Chris. Beautiful opening to a powerful time together. So welcome. If you're new with us here this morning, either in the room or online, my name is Reverend Diana Johnson, and I'm the pastor and spiritual director for Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We're an independent interfaith organization. We teach universal principles and practical spirituality, and we seek to follow the threads of truth that flow through all of the world's great traditions. So we begin our Taizé journey this morning in musical prayer. So let's join our voices together.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. I am letting go. I am letting God. I am fully alive. Spirit by my side. I'm letting go. I am letting go. I'm letting
So letting go and relaxing into this holy moment, bringing all of ourselves fully present, fully alive and awake to this presence of the divine that fills us and infuses and surrounds us. That is the very atmosphere in which we live and move and have our being. We move more deeply now into this meditative journey, bringing awareness to the breath. Breathing in slowly and letting it go. The breath grounds us, brings us to a peaceful state. We take a moment to notice anything that may have followed us in this morning, in our hearts or in our minds. Any concern we might be carrying. And we consciously set it aside just for now. Taking another slow, deep breath in. And settling into the presence, relaxing into a profound sense of gratefulness. Grateful that you have this beautiful day to live. Grateful for the privilege of being alive, no matter what experiences you may have had. Life is a gift. And so bringing forth a sense of reverence, deep love, respect, and gratitude for the source of life itself. We know that there is only one source, by whatever name we might call it, one life. And we take a moment to sense our own oneness with it, with one another, and with our global community. Envisioning a web of consciousness surrounding and infusing the earth. Seeing and feeling ourselves to be a point of radiant light in that web. Knowing every human as a spark of divinity. Seeing every creature, every plant, every rock and grain of sand, every drop of water, shining with Spirit's light. The clouds, the heavenly bodies, all aglow with divine intelligence. And now sensing and knowing that my light is enmeshed with yours, that our lives are entwined with all that is. As human beings gifted with the power of self-reflection and choice, we acknowledge our role as caretakers in service to one another and to all life forms and to the planet that sustains us all. Grounded in our oneness, we center our hearts in this month's theme, shedding old skin. As we continue in our journey of transformation, there is no existing path for us to follow. We are in the liminal space between what has been and what is yet to be. We are creating the path as we walk it, one step at a time. This morning's topic for reflection is grief as sacred practice. Every one of us experiences grief at one time or another. The very word grief comes from Old French and means burden. The grief spectrum is a broad one. We may be burdened by an annoyance that a person or circumstance is causing, something causing us grief. Or we may be burdened by deep sorrow or anguish over a profound loss. A spouse or partner, a home, a career. From our friends at Unity, loss can change the trajectory of a life. It shifts our days and interrupts our nights. It breaks open our hearts and forces us to reckon with the big questions of life. Where is God? Who am I now? How do I pray in the midst of this? Grief is a process. It takes as long as it takes. And there is no right or wrong way to express it. Nor does it really end. Instead, we gradually take new shape around it. Over time, grief actually becomes a spiritual practice. A spiritual practice is simply a repeated activity or process that enables us to meet and know the deepest parts of ourselves, and in so doing, to meet and know the presence within us. How does one turn the process of grieving into sacred practice? Through conscious repetition. One way is to seek to become more comfortable with change, all kinds of change. Simply make a plan for your day and then practice maintaining your peace when last-minute changes occur. Becoming more comfortable with small changes will pave the way for greater equanimity when big changes inevitably come. Practice allowing exhaustion and sadness to wash over you as you reach your threshold. Surrender to the feelings. To surrender to grief means to feel and express every emotion that comes up, as often as it comes up. To give yourself time to cry, to rest, and then to begin again. Practice feeling and expressing the anger that is a natural part of grief. Because anger shows us the resentments we didn't know we were still holding on to. Practice feeling and expressing the loneliness and confusion that may come. Because these lead us inward to the still small voice that will always bring comfort if we open to it. Despite the grief, or in the midst of it, practice learning to laugh whenever you can. Laughter is still one of the best medicines. Another sacred practice. Leave nothing that is important unsaid or undone. You have no way of knowing where life or death may take you that day. The pain of loss is a part of life. It leaves no one untouched. It emerges from within, and if we let it, it breaks our heart open. Again, from unity, breaking open can happen in ways that are tender, or it can shatter me into thousands of shards. When we live our lives dodging the pain, our hearts become dry and brittle and easily broken into pieces. When we allow moments in life that are hard, unpredictable, and scary to be placed on our hearts, tenderness comes alive. And with greater tenderness comes the ability to more fully experience the joy and the sorrow of life. We are touched, stretched, and softened by the sacred practice of grieving. We are tenderized, and being tenderized is where the juiciness of life is. When life is unexpectedly rearranged, choosing to be tenderized can offer a greater capacity to hold suffering, which then stretches us even further into living our life in new ways. In his book, Letters from a Modern Mystic, Frank Laubach says, "Somebody was telling me this week that nobody can make a violin speak the last depths of human longing until that soul has been made tender by some great anguish. I do not say it is the only way to the heart of God, but I must witness that it has opened an inner shrine for me, which I have never entered before." We must remember, the depth of our grief is a direct reflection of the depth of our love. Conscious grieving is a sacred practice, a healing journey. Reverend Ogun Holder offers that healing implies a restoration to wholeness, a repairing of the broken, a righting of wrongs. To heal is to make peace with what is, to cease struggling against the current experience, and to release any desire that the loss never happened, that they never left, that they never died. We have to surrender to the grief. When we do, paradoxically, it becomes the only spiritual practice that allows us to heal.
Reverend John Pavlovitz reminds us that grief doesn't have rules. It is not that considerate or rational. It just shows up when and where it does, and in the way it does. You fall apart in places no one can see, and all the while you look perfectly fine. And it can be triggered by a phrase, a song, or a random memory. The first of the many spiritual gifts of grief is humility. Again, from Reverend John. It's humbling to know you've been internally altered. Death has interrupted your plans, severed your relationships, and rewritten the script for you. Grief is a stark reminder that we are not in control, that we actually have no idea what is in store for us. Grief yields a perennial pain, one that continues to do its invasive work within us for as long as we live. It, like the love we have for those we are now without, never ends. This is both a beautiful tribute and a heavy toll. And I guess that's the other great truth about grief, that hope perseveres as well. As many times as the hurt comes to blindside you, healing does as well. Without warning or reason or sense, you suddenly begin to feel the unmistakable lightness of unexpected joy, and you get enough strength to keep going. Not only that, but you somehow actually find life again. Once more, there is gratitude and sweetness in remembering. Embracing our grief can be intimidating. We may fear that if we begin to weep, we may never be able to stop. We find there is no way out, only a way through. In our 3 minutes of shared sacred silence this morning, I invite you to contemplate a loss that you have grieved or are now grieving. You were vulnerable, humbled, disoriented. The pain broke your heart. Your heart was broken open. Will you let it close? Or can you let it remain wide open? Beloved Creator of all that is, thank you for this time of communion with you and with this beloved community. Thank you for the sweet remembrance of those who are no longer with us. And thank you for the courage to embrace our grief. When our hearts break open, may we always find a way to keep them open. Robert Browning reminded us that the way through grief consists in opening out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, rather than in effecting entry for a light supposed to be without. When we grieve, our broken open heart is the way the imprisoned splendor of our divine love escapes our heart and heals us. As we return to Reverend Diana's Taizé meditation, our open hearts receive the love and inspiration in her message. We embrace all of our life, the pleasant and the painful. And we bravely choose to regard our grief as a sacred practice.
The loss of death is not the only thing that we grieve. We may grieve any one of the changes that occur in our lives. We can find guidance for our sacred grieving in the book of Psalms attributed to King David. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. What is this passage saying? That in every life, a little rain will fall. And in some lives, it will be more than a little. As we move through the dark and difficult times, feeling the pain deeply, allowing ourselves to grieve our losses, that we not get stuck. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I don't set up my tent there.
Right.
I allow the waves of sadness to come and then to go. I can't think of a better image of how grief feels, walking through a dark valley or living in the shadow of death, defined by a loss so pronounced that we now mark all time as before and after the loss. We never forget the people or circumstances that have impacted our lives. We honor them when we can acknowledge their importance and then move forward, forever changed for the better by their presence. The truth is, when we grieve, we're not waiting to feel love again. Love is waiting on us to embrace it fully. Fortunately, as another Bible verse reminds us, love is patient. Love is kind. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love got us into this in the first place. We grieve because we love, And the more we love, the greater the grief. If we let it, grief can take us back to love, because love is all there ever really is.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. 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 I will not be shaken. I will not be moved. Love, cover me. May my heart awaken. Tenderness be proved. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love.
May the love of Spirit cover each one of us, fill us to overflowing, and guide us through the days of our lives. May the love of Spirit bring us to a gentle letting go, so that we might be born anew. I say thank you for this day. Thank you for each one here. And I trust that this time is unfolding in ways that support each one of us. And so I just give thanks for all that has unfolded this morning, releasing this prayer into the loving and lawful presence that I call God, as together we say, and so it is. Amen. So gently coming back into the space. Yeah, I'm dripping in the eyes too. Kathy. Take a look around at who's here celebrating this morning. Nice. So as we close our Taizé, we have a special treat for you this morning. We offer an opportunity for you to share of your financial good with our community so that we might continue to grow and thrive. But as we're doing that, I'll mention if you're online with us today, you can go to mysticheart.org. You'll find a donate button, mailing address. And as we're allowing time for circulation of our good this morning, I'm going to invite Marsh up to offer a song, a new one he's written, called A Fire in the Heart.
Just because I wrote it doesn't mean I know the words.
That's okay, we don't either.
Well, it just takes singing it a few times in order to know.
It's been a few. When I was younger, I used to go with a friend of mine to the Southern Baptist Church because I loved the music. It was primarily a black congregation, and I was always resentful that the Catholics didn't do that stuff. And, so I wrote this song a while ago, but you need to have the right audience for a song that kind of feels like it's sort of a gospel bluesy kind of a feel. So this is the right audience.
Yay!
All right, Michael.
Well, it's not playing.
I've got it on a flash drive. I don't know if that'll help at all.
That should do it.
Computers are our friends. Here it comes. I promise.
Yeah, let me try this thing.
Those are quite the pants.
I really like them. They're really
Yeah.
They
cool.
look comfortable.
If I could live in this kinds of clothes, I would. I don't know if this is any help, but it is on.
Yeah, it's the player that's not.
Oh, okay.
The file's in there, and it was playing earlier, but.
There are, I should mention actually, once the song gets going, the lyrics that are in here, I wrote the song, as I said, quite a while ago, but the lyrics I've rewritten. And many of them have to do with actually with this congregation and some of the stuff that has happened here. So that you know that.
Why don't you hand me that flash drive, maybe we can make that.
There's a few things on there, but you'll see it.
Yeah.
You can count on things going wrong in life, it's how you handle them. So anybody know any jokes?
I have one.
You have
That's a
one?
good
All right, here you go.
What did the potato say to the potato chip?
What?
Chip off the old block. Chip off the old block. Is that everyone?
That's everyone.
That's everyone, okay.
What kinds of torture have you been through? What?
Good job.
That was my latest one.
Did you make that up?
I like
Yeah.
that.
Give me 5.
Good work.
No, it's, McAfee decided to run a scan and
Oh, good old McAfee. Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Mac is back.
Plan C coming up. Plan C coming up. We'll have some editing to do this afternoon. It's okay.
We can,
The song is
Worth it, so we're going to wait another minute or two.
if it, we could do the video now and do the song later if it's something that, that would be Plan D, I think.
Plan B.
D.
Find the video.
Ah, I hear something.
Yeah.
As I watch the evening news, while some images do sting, I also see ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I can't help but ask myself, what sets these folks apart? But eventually it came to me, they all have a fire in their hearts. Everybody has a little pilot light. Some people call them souls. And if you feed that light and you treat it right, it'll help you to reach your goals. But there are some folks out there, such intense desire, they grow that little pilot light to an all-consuming fire. When ordinary people do extraordinary things, like when the artist creates, or when the singer sings, when the poet writes, or when the teacher teaches. He'll come fight for their rights, or when the preacher preaches. When the country says no to hate, fear, and doubt. When a community comes together to help each other out. What sets these folks apart? Well, they all have a fire. You all have a fire. Everyone listening, you all have a fire down in your heart. Down in your heart. Down in your heart. You know, sometimes we only drift through life, and we are only half aware, half awake, half-hearted, essentially half there. And our other half, well, it's thinking about all those things we'd rather be doing. And then we stay at that job that's wearing us out. What is it exactly that we are pursuing? Come on, people. I don't think that we're on this drive just to sleep behind the wheel. When you do what you love, you feel so alive. Well, that's how every day should feel. Why not just try to find your fire, your passion, your cause, your art? Just ask God for help and you'll be inspired to find that fire in your heart. Oh, when ordinary people like you and me, we do extraordinary things. Like when the artist creates, or when the singer sings, or when the poet writes, when the teacher finally reaches, when the forgotten people fight for their rights, or when the preacher preaches, when a country says no to hate, fear, and doubt, when a community comes together to help each other out. What sets you folks apart? We all have a fire. You all have a fire. Oh, down in your heart, deep down in your heart, down in your heart. Can you feel it? Yeah.
Told you it was worth going through all plans A through D to get there.
Yes.
So I just say thank you, Marsh, for sharing. Thank you, Spirit, for these gifts as they flow through our community's hands and hearts and into this space where they can be used and grown and then offered back. And so it is. All right, so I just want to bring your awareness, in case you're not coming to the conversation, that starting February 11th from 2 to 4, we are beginning a book study and support circle on Wednesdays. February 11th, 2 to 4, that I'll be facilitating, and it's on grief and grieving. And it's using a book called On Grief and Grieving, Finding the Meaning of Grief Through the 5 Stages of Grief by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler as sort of our guide. So just so you know, that's coming up. And there'll be more information spoken, but I didn't want to let that go by. So we're going to send you on your way to either your coffee or tea so you can come back for a conversation or on with your Sunday with a soul's blessing.
May your soul always find what it's looking for. May your heart always lead the way. May you live in peace and harmony. And may love always fill your day. May your path be strewn with happiness. May success find you everywhere. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayers. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayers.
God bless you and enjoy your day, or we'll see you back at 10:30.
Well, we'll start with who we have and then see if we manifest some more people.
Here we go.
Thank you again, Spirit, for this gorgeous day. Thank you for this time together in beloved community that nourishes our souls and our spirits just as our soon be coming up table ministry nourishes our bodies and taste buds. Thank you to each one here for choosing to spend your time with your beloved community here at Mystic Heart Gathering Place. I know that the time we spend together in study, in worship, in prayer, in meditation, all of it feeds us in a way that engaging in those practices by ourselves does not. There's a synergistic something that happens. There's more spirit available. And so we tap into that spirit right here and right now. We allow it to inspire us. We allow it to inform our conversation. We allow the wisdom of spirit to pour forth through all the questions, through all the answers, through all the readings, all the prayers, all the meditations. It's all God. And so I choose to participate fully in that in this time we have together. So I release this prayer knowing that our time together does unfold beautifully, powerfully, joyfully, lovingly, and with lots of laughter, I'm sure. And I release this prayer, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Welcome or welcome back, whichever it is for you. And I am Reverend Diana Johnson, pastor and spiritual director here at Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. For those maybe just joining us online, we're an independent interfaith community, and we teach universal principles and practical spirituality, those threads of common truth that run through all the world's great traditions. So I pray that something you hear this morning will lead you back to the guidance and the wisdom that lives in your own mystic heart, where all of your answers can be found. So let's jump into our much more active conversation this morning with some musical prayer, a little more upbeat. If you feel like singing, dancing, snapping, clapping, whatever, feel free.
Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice and sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family with loving hearts to share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer. And everything's possible through prayer. Mystic Heart. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
All right, let's do a little bit of relaxing and letting go. Little bit of what? Shabbat, 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 huh? Shabbat, shabbat. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well. whether it feels like it or not. Let's take a moment to consciously engage the body in the practice of envisioning a love-soaked world, seeing, feeling, and knowing the expression of the world we choose to live in, where all humans are embodying and living from their highest selves, their deepest wisdom, their most generous nature, each one honoring and caring for one another, for the beautiful planet we live on, where this is actually second nature, where all needs are always met and all beings have plenty of nourishing food, safety, and warmth and comfort of a home, an affordable home, where mental, physical health, education, and healthy relationships are well supported by social systems that are grounded in integrity and wholeness.
Amen.
In our newly created world, all beings work and play at whatever feeds the soul and are well compensated for their sacred service. All beings are valued and respected for their inherent goodness and light. Authenticity and vulnerability are not only welcomed but celebrated. And the peace that we cultivate within ourselves shows up as a world free of violence, hatred, or indifference.
Yes.
Each one of us is living into a world where greed is no more, where there's absolute abundance in just having enough, where generosity is the norm, and where every being receives all that is needed for a full, rich, and contented life. By the power of our collective intention and powerful imagining, backed by our action, we have written a new story, a world that works for all beings. We trust and know that all is always being turned to good, and so it is. We walk in gratitude, respect, reverence, and humility as we recognize the sacred in everyone and in everything. There is a general sense of thriving in our world. It is through our hands and feet and hearts and voices that positive change is forever happening. We have aligned all of our actions with our vision, living these changes in our own lives, with our families, our friends, our communities, and other nations. We recognize that transformation is an ongoing process, and in times of great change, people benefit from working and playing and simply being together in community. And so this community stands as an open and welcoming place for all beings who seek support, belonging, and a sense of family. By the power that is inherently ours, this prayer is already acted upon, answered even as it is spoken. I trust and know that this is so, and so I can rest in divine presence that lives and works in its own time and by its own process. And with the deepest humility and gratitude, I released my word right here and right now to the one who gets it done, and so it is. Amen. Feels so good to feel that shift in the energy every week, to engage in our own, what we call our own small act of loving defiance. Prayer and visioning is really powerful, and it does move us a step closer to that world that we want to see and be a part of. So if you were here at Taizé this morning, you'll know that our topic of reflection has been grief as sacred practice. Doesn't sound like a very cheerful topic, does it? Sometimes we need to address such things as grief. Because guess what? We all experience grief at one time or another in our lives. And this Grief as Sacred Practice ties in with our January theme, which is shedding old skin. In other words, we've been talking this month about the many facets of this journey of transformation that we're making, this journey we call our life. So I'm going to begin by giving a bullet point summary of the morning's Taizé for those who were not here. And then I'll use that as a jumping off point for our conversation. And if you want to get more than what I give you now, it'll be online by this evening. So every one of us experiences grief at one time or another. Would you agree with that? Yeah. I don't think anybody's exempt, right? So in Taizé, I gave a definition that comes from the Old French language. What, according to that etymology, what does the word grief mean?
Birth?
Birth?
Didn't I say birth? No.
Close. Yes?
Burden.
Burden.
Oh, burden.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it right.
Yeah, burden. So the grief spectrum is a broad one. We talked about how it goes all the way from, you might think of somebody like Lucy of the Peanuts, and good grief, you know. First of all, is grief good? I would say it is, but that's getting off the point. The grief spectrum goes all the way from mild annoyance, which is what brought up Lucy and Charlie Brown in my mind, to deep, deep, profound loss and sadness, and maybe even anguish over a loss that is so big that we don't know how to cope with it. So grieving is a process that takes as long as it takes. There's no set amount of time, although there do tend to be stages. We're not going to get really into that today. If you're interested in that, we have a class starting up in February. But also, grief doesn't really necessarily end. There's not an ending point. Instead, we gradually change who we are around it. So it continues, and we shift and change to incorporate it into our being. Over time, if done consciously, grief can actually become a spiritual practice, and that's what our Taizé was looking at this morning. We said that spiritual practice is simply a repeated activity or process that enables us to meet and know the deepest parts of ourselves, and then ultimately brings us to our own personal relationship with our source, by whatever name we call that. So how does one turn the process of grieving into spiritual practice? Conscious repetition, first of all, being aware that that's what we're engaging in. And then we named a number of actual practices this morning that we can engage in that make this a sacred act. And if you're interested in those, I'm not going to go back through those, but those will be online. But grief must be felt to be healed. Feel it to heal it, right? But we have to be careful not to get stuck in our grief. That's a danger. That's where we're going to jump into our conversation for today. And if, like I said, if you weren't here, you can get all of that, including a transcript, online by this evening. So I'm going to ask a question now. What kinds of things do we grieve? What kinds of things do we grieve?
Negative things. Things that we don't like that could be very harmful to our actual lives potentially.
Okay, so things that feel negative to us, things that might even be harmful. Okay.
Loss of friendships.
Loss of friendships, we grieve those.
Loss of ability.
Loss of ability,
Someone who's been injured, brain injured.
right? Okay. Or even as we age and we become differently abled than we once were, we can grieve those things. Mhm. What else?
I would have never thought of this before now, but we're actually grieving the loss of our old house that we spent so many years in.
We are grieving the loss of our house. We were there for 14 years, and we created a little micro farm, and now we're living differently by choice So that's a point to be made, even if it is a choice and not something that happens to us,
We can still feel bad
we
about
can
it.
still feel the grief
Yes.
of not having it anymore. Cheryl?
Loss of lack of communication with your spouse as they
Mm.
get older.
Loss of communication with a loved one as they sage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loss of original looks from age.
Ah.
Like Chris used to be a redhead. Like me.
Exactly.
Thank you for remembering.
That was
I
cute,
can tell
Caleb.
you still have some orange
I was kind of joking on that.
on the edge.
But it's true, huh? Are you
I made a
grieving?
deal with my hair. If it didn't fall out, I didn't care what color it was.
Are you grieving your loss of red hair? I don't know.
No, only when I get sunburned on top.
Okay. What else? Lucinda and then,
Someone has to say loss of a pet.
okay, loss of a pet.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely
Loss of a spouse.
something to
Loss
grieve.
of a spouse.
Or a spouse, yes.
Yes.
Well, this happened to my husband when he retired. He was ready to retire. He was happy about that.
Mhm.
But the loss of not having his people that
Right.
he worked with.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
He called them his flock, the
Mhm.
people he worked with.
Yeah.
And he missed
So
that.
the loss of a career brings all kinds of things, whether it's the people you're attached to, whether it's
Or
the
like-
meaning that you find in the work that you
Right.
do, and now who am I?
Mhm.
Right. For
Yeah. So many things that we grieve, or that we may or may not even be aware that we are grieving, and yet something just isn't right and we can't figure out what that is.
Well, it could be the same with a pet because,
Mhm.
like, if you don't have the pet anymore, then you don't have it to take care of. So then it's
Right.
like not just a loss of having the pet, but also a loss of having the purpose of taking care of the pet and this thing that you
Right.
have to watch after. And if
Right.
they're not there, then it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Loss of purpose, that's
Yeah,
really
definitely.
good, because that can become from a loss of a pet or from all kinds of
a
other
loss
losses.
of a lot of anything.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Well, I was thinking caregivers for a spouse or a loved one
Yeah,
became a big part of your identity and purpose.
right,
And while you're relieved of maybe the responsibilities, you still
yeah,
have a loss of identity
Right.
and purpose
Yeah.
and the person.
yeah. Not only do I miss you physically, mentally, our communication, but now who am I without you or this relationship
Or the house.
or the house or the pet?
Or anything.
Or all of the above.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Right.
a lot of folks, even right here in this community, are or should be aware of the fact that they are moving through grief processes. And we may not always call it that. We've had people lose their homes to flood lately.
Oh, my goodness.
We've had people lose spouses and pets this last year. We've had a lot of loss. And even as community members here, we are grieving. We're grieving David. We're grieving Sophie. But we don't walk in on Sunday morning and call it that. We don't really address that very often. So it's important to acknowledge that grief's a natural and a normal reaction to loss of all kinds. It's very human, but it's often misunderstood. Most of what we were taught isn't useful. That's
Go
not just
figure.
true of grief, that's true of so many things, but,
That's true.
but where grief is concerned, there are a lot of mistaken myths out there about grieving. And those myths set us up for unrealistic expectations. So I'm going to talk this morning about some of the myths of grieving.
Okay.
There's a list of them. So I'm going to state the myth, then ask you a question, and then we're going to open it up for conversation. Okay, the first myth. We should be strong for others.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever heard this?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Oh,
done
yeah.
this?
Definitely.
What does it look like? How is it a myth? How does it get in the way of our healing? Whatever comes up for you right now around we must be strong for others.
That's not allowing yourself to do the grief.
It's not allowing yourself to move through the stages of grief. Yeah.
It goes back to the old big boys don't cry kind of thing.
Right.
We're trying to be all stoic, but in order to do that, we have to close our heart and harden our feelings.
Right.
And
That's not
and our
good.
truth, whoever we are in our authentic self, cannot get through that
Right.
iron cage.
Right. So we're not feeling it. We can't heal it if we can't feel it.
It's actually a very cruel thing to say to someone, we must be strong for others.
Yes.
Means that we need to allow other people to grieve, but we need to be strong, and so we're not allowed to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it is, there's a cruelty there. Telling you, don't be who you are, don't feel what you feel. It's your job to make sure others are comfortable.
Yeah.
And who's to say that that makes others comfortable to begin with?
I was just gonna say, it doesn't make them
Right.
comfortable because they almost feel alienated.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Because
kinda
you're
how I
not
would feel.
grieving and
Yeah.
I am.
Right.
Like you're not, so you just think everything is completely fine right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's how it's supposed to work.
So when I stand in strength for others, I'm denying permission
Right.
for them to feel what they're feeling.
Right.
You're also not trusting them to be able to handle
Their
Right.
own
grief.
feelings.
Yes.
I mean, it's
right?
like it's an imposition to grieve in front of somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we know it makes them uncomfortable. That's what we've been,
Right.
that's the way we've been raised, you know,
Yeah.
so. But I think there's an element of trust saying, this is a safe place, I can just
Right.
frickin' lose it.
Yeah. I trust that you can handle this just like I can, and that we will
Right.
move through this together. Bob and then Caleb.
Well, the saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, is sort of taking away the grief of the person
Yeah,
who's having a tough time.
right, yeah. Implying that you should just be strong and, yeah, move through it.
Suck it up.
Suck it up.
Sorry.
Caleb?
Yeah, there is often a balance in caring for yourself and caring for others.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. And it's like that for many things in this dimension, as I call it.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
There's always that balance between caring for self and caring for others.
What most people don't understand is you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself
Oh
first.
yeah, for
Right,
sure,
yeah.
right?
It's true.
I was gonna say,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
feel part of it is emotional intelligence
Mhm.
because
For sure.
I think that, like, now, if my mom or my sister or someone close to me is like crying and I feel upset about something, I think my old reaction is I have to like fix it or
Yeah.
like cheer them up or have the right thing
Make
to
it
say.
better for them.
Right.
And I'm realizing that if I'm upset and someone just like has all advice all of a sudden and is just like, to me, sometimes I just want someone to listen.
Right.
So I think the idea of grieving or being with someone that's grieving is being able to handle being around difficult emotions,
Yeah.
because I think that's part of it, is like we're not taught how to handle difficult
Right.
emotions
Yeah.
until we like do therapy and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
or read a good book about it
Yeah,
or whatever. I just think it's not about making people feel comfortable. It's like you have to feel comfortable.
Right. Yeah, we feel uncomfortable with their grief.
Because we
and so-
probably feel uncomfortable with our own
Right.
hard emotions
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah. Yeah, emotional intelligence work is a great place to start. For so many reasons, but it's where grief is concerned. Okay, so second myth. Replace the loss.
Oh, that's not how.
Replace
That's
the
not how it
loss.
works.
That's
How can you do that?
How might that look, though? Do people actually seek to comfort themselves or comfort another by replacing the loss? Do we ever do that?
We know several people that when they've lost a dog, they run out and get another dog.
Mhm.
Again, because they've lost their identity as a pet owner and
Right.
caretaker.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just like Kimberly.
Just like, oh, now Kimberly's not here to defend herself. She is happy with her new dog.
Yes, she
And
is.
she's well aware that she's not
Yes.
replacing her old dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the other side of that too is you go out and you get a new pet for them, you know, and a lot of times it's without asking.
Oh,
Yes.
don't do
You
that.
know,
Ever.
you want a new pet.
Right.
Never surprise anybody.
And then
with a
you're
pet.
supposed to automatically let go of the other one because you've got something new.
Right. Yeah. We have a cat because someone I know got a pet immediately for someone who lost a pet who didn't want that pet, and then it needed a home, so now we have a cat. Yes, right.
The replacement is never the same shape as the whole.
No,
No.
no. Can we ever replace
Doesn't fit right.
anything or anyone we've had, whether it's a person, a pet, an experience, a career, a home?
It's never the
I
same.
think that's probably the motivation behind rebound relationships when
Yes.
somebody goes through a divorce
Uh-huh.
or splits up after a long-term relationship. And that's also why the rebound never works, because it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the
Right.
same.
It's the same,
It
it's not a
doesn't fit the
replacement,
same.
Yeah.
it's just I'm lonely, I gotta do something.
It's a
Right.
Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid, yeah.
On a bullet wound.
Something I read this week said, light bulbs are replaceable. Relationships are not.
Yeah.
Yes,
Light bulbs are
It
replaceable.
also serves as a distraction.
yes. Distracts
So
us
you
from our
don't-
grief.
From the grief.
Yeah. Yeah. So having another baby when you've lost a child, finding another partner, buying another dog, taking another job even, does not replace what is lost. And it can be a distraction and
If you let it.
keep us from the grieving process.
Sometimes it's a notion of, yes, you may have a job loss as a casualty,
Right.
okay, but you also might be jumping from job to job to distract and avoid what you need to be
Yes.
working with and on for the
Right.
reason why you're leaving or
Yeah.
or jumping around. You're not addressing something.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, because when we're moved around by life from one thing to another, often there is something we're missing within us or our own lives that we could be addressing. All right, third myth. Time heals all wounds. Is that true?
I mean, if you spend a bunch of time not thinking about it, it's not going to help anything.
Okay.
Not feeling your actual emotions about it, it's not going to help anything.
All right. Chris?
When I was growing up, my dad had a coffee cup that said, "Time wounds all heals." But I think time erodes the sharp, rough edges
Right.
off it, but it doesn't completely heal that.
Yeah.
That takes our participation.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
This is a personal experience. When my mom died, I went back to work, started back to my job, was working, and everybody around me was worried about me because I wasn't grieving. And, but I guess I wasn't ready to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me a couple of years to finally go, this happened to you.
Right.
Move through it. And the same thing with my grandfather.
Yeah.
I was angry at him for dying on me. And but I didn't grieve until probably 3 or 4 years later. And it finally hit me as oh, I lost somebody.
Right.
And then I started my grieving process.
Mhm.
It was just kind of, now I don't do that today. I'm different
Jump
today.
in. Jump in, right?
Yep, I'm different today.
Chris?
That's so universally common with human beings. I think it's a lot like going into shock when you have a physical injury.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
it's too intense to feel, so your
Right.
your body protects you from that. But our minds do that to protect us from. Again, if I start crying, will I ever be able to stop?
Yeah. So what does happen over time?
I think over time, perspective about maybe what happened does
Okay.
shift.
Okay,
And
so,
that might be the notion that you said, the grief shapes us.
right. Okay, so our perceptions around it shift. We are shaped by the process.
You learn how to carry it
You
with
learn,
you.
yeah, you
Because
learn
it
how to
doesn't
carry.
ever go away.
Right, yeah.
Make peace with it,
Right.
yes.
Mhm. Yeah, so we learn how to carry it. It's like, you know, places where we cut ourselves open and have stitches and we end up with a scar, right? The scar is often there for life. And in fact, what's true of a mended bone or a scar about that tissue?
Stronger.
It's stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the grieving process, although time doesn't completely heal it, it can make us stronger in ways that we were not before as we learn to carry that loss with us. Michael?
I think what we're talking about here is learning how to ease the grief on ourselves and deal with it. And if we don't, and we all know people like this who turn bitter.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
a lot of them are bitter, older people.
Right.
And you can talk to them and they say, oh, you won't believe what happened to me.
Yeah.
When I was 4, this happened, and when I was 18, this happened, you know.
Right.
And
And you're 85 now.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be around you. I wonder why.
Well,
And nobody wants to hear about what happened when you were 4.
And that can make you physically sick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lucinda?
For a lot of people, I think that it can turn into gratitude that you had the time with that person, place, or thing in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you ever had
Yeah.
that in the first
Because we talked about that this morning, is that the depth of our grief is only a reflection of the depth of the love that we had for whatever that is that we've lost.
Right.
So they're an equal measure. If we never love, then we'll never grieve. But who wants that,
Nobody.
That's true.
right? Who wants that? Chris?
With this question, I'm getting the image of an oyster making a pearl from something that, a sharp piece of sand that gets in there and
Right.
hurts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go away, but they make something beautiful and useful out of it. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good metaphor for when grief comes to us. It's up to us to choose whether to make it a sacred practice
Right.
or just suffer.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Makes me think of the oyster and the pearl.
Uh-huh.
The sand gets in and over
Yeah.
time it becomes a pearl. And so
Mhm.
that's turning the negative, if you will,
Right.
to the good, make something beautiful out of it.
Uh-huh.
But the oyster has to make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we ready for number 4?
Sure.
Sure, okay. We should grieve privately. We should grieve privately.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah?
Is that a thing that people say?
It's a thing people do.
Oh, okay.
They isolate. How many times, even in this community, something will happen in someone's lives and they disappear for months? Because they're afraid that if they come into a place that's open and loving and welcoming, they'll fall apart and they'll cry and they don't want to be seen crying. So they isolate themselves. People do that a lot.
Some never
I-
come out.
Some never come out. Yeah.
I was one of those.
Uh-huh.
I never cried. In fact, the first time I really cried was 2 weeks ago because of Lucinda. But
okay,
you know
honey,
what?
I love
It
you
was the
like
best
that.
thing ever. It was the best thing ever for me.
Uh-huh.
That was a release
Yeah.
for me and
Yeah.
recognize I can do that.
Yes.
I guess as a child I must not have been allowed to cry.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but I would never cry. And that was
Yeah.
the first time.
It doesn't exactly feel good.
Nice. Sometimes family and friends even encourage our isolation by expressing their discomfort with our tears or with our grief. they don't intend to do that. I'm not saying it's on purpose, but Lucinda?
They also do that when people don't want to talk about a person who was lost.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah.
no, we don't say
Right.
the name anymore because now everybody's sad. Like,
Yeah.
it's not how life works.
No,
I
not
don't
healthy.
see how that works though, because if you
No.
don't talk about that person, then you're just holding all that bundled up inside,
Exactly.
and
right.
it makes you
Not
bitter.
good. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris?
What I'm hearing, all of this points to protection.
Mm-hmm.
Protection from actually living and experiencing and sharing. We're
Yeah.
protecting ourselves from whatever we think we're trying to
Right.
protect ourselves from life as it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, Mark.
People don't like to be reminded of the frailty of the
Mm.
human existence.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
And that is
That-
what needs to be, people
Yes.
need to be reminded of
Right.
that in order to appreciate where they are.
To wake up every morning grateful for this day.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes faced with loss of life or some large loss brings us back to that gratitude.
Yeah.
So tied to we should grieve privately, we shouldn't talk about it. There's another myth.
There
We
it is.
shouldn't talk about
That is
it.
so
Talk
sad.
about it. I know, that's so.
How is this a myth and why is it a problem?
If you don't talk about it, you don't heal from it.
Okay? Talking it through helps the healing process, and I won't say more, I'll let you say it.
I live with a person that's a verbal processor.
I talk
If she
about
doesn't
everything.
talk about it,
Oh, I totally do that.
it's gonna fester.
And maybe at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
have myself to talk to. I was
Uh-huh. yeah. So what are we doing when we talk about it? What is it that we're actually engaged in?
Well,
Okay, and then Chris.
okay. Well, I would say that you're thinking. I most of the time when I'm processing things verbally, I'm thinking and working through it and understanding it in multiple different ways that I can to
Okay.
help me feel better about it.
Okay, so it's a way of processing and understanding
Uh-huh.
in all kinds of different ways.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But when you don't do it, it's almost a denial, lack of acknowledgement. If I talk about it, it makes it real.
Yeah, okay, so talking about it makes it real, not talking about it
Like
is
it
a
didn't
lack of
happen.
acknowledgement, yeah. Okay, Lucinda?
Talking about it is a sharing.
Okay.
So you can talk about it, you can laugh about it. I mean, we'll never forget David's
Yowza!
anything.
That's right.
Or his sense of humor, or the way
Yeah.
he picked on me all the time.
Uh-huh,
He loved that.
yeah.
And
He'd
Lucinda
practice
misses
on the
it.
way to church. What am I gonna pick on her about this
Misses it.
morning?
And Lucinda misses it, so now she redirects it at Michael.
That's right. She found a new source.
Stairs on the vacuum cord.
He's easy.
Actually, the baton was passed to me in terms of teasing Lucinda. I think
Oh.
she'll agree with that.
Okay.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me either.
No.
Chris?
What I've noticed in prayer sessions as a practitioner is that just an open, relaxed conversation gets more and more relaxed. The people feel safer and safer,
Right.
and stuff just rolls out that wasn't even in their conscious awareness.
Yeah.
But it just rolls out, and they hear it out of their own mouth, and it's tremendously healing when that happens.
Yeah.
Because it makes them aware of more of the breadth and the depth of
Right.
what they're going through.
So it can increase our own awareness to hear ourselves and what's coming out. It's also a way, the sharing, linked to the sharing, we're telling our story. Right? We're sharing our story, a story about us and our lives and how we shared it with another person or activity. And telling our stories is part of what humans do. It's a need that we have. We need to be heard, not fixed. Right?
That took a long time to figure out. For me.
Marsh.
I think there's a part of that whole fixed versus
Uh-huh.
working stuff out. Honestly, just in the wiring itself, the masculine wants to fix and the feminine wants to have it worked through
Uh-huh.
in a more, I don't know, emotionally proper way.
Uh-huh.
And that in itself causes
Mars and Venus.
causes so much,
Right.
just that understanding, and like even whatever it might be, it's like, you have a problem and you a male and a female, or I should say a masculine and a feminine have a discussion of some kind,
Mhm.
and there's an issue and it gets resolved. In the masculine mind, it's fixed.
Right.
And in the feminine mind, it's okay for now.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even.
Or maybe not even. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's true, yeah. So
Yeah.
just that alone,
Right.
affects, so many things, grief included,
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's valuable to remember that all of us, no matter what our gender identifications are, have both masculine and feminine traits within us. And so if we can approach conversations with others, if we can approach grieving, listening, sharing from that place of, it's the feminine energy needing to emote and share right now, and so let's let that masculine energy take a back seat for the moment, or depending on what's going on, the reverse. But we all have both of those energies in us, and we can monitor them within ourselves.
Emotions and speaking words have energy.
Yes.
And if you don't do those, you're
Right.
clogging the pipes.
You're clogging up the pipes, that's right. Emotion, energy in motion. Words are another way of emoting. Okay, should we move on to the next one? We have just a couple more. We should keep busy. What happens when we use busyness during times of grief? I mean, we can use it in a couple of ways, but let's say we're using it
To avoid.
to avoid, distract.
That was me, with my mom.
Yeah,
Busyness is okay, but it's only okay for a short time.
right.
That's true.
It's one thing to say, I'm consciously choosing to take on this activity for a set amount of time to keep myself with positive people and uplifted because it's good for me to do that. And then at the end of this time, if I'm feeling sad, I'm just going to let myself go back to where I need to be. It's not that we should not, it's not that we should disengage from all activity when we're grieving. Maybe at times we should. But it's that we don't use busyness to avoid the grieving process. That's important.
That was when my house was the cleanest.
Oh.
And my
Yeah.
mom- Yeah.
My house is the cleanest when I'm grieving. Or when I'm
Mine's-
not grieving,
Mine's
right?
the cleanest when I'm mad.
Oh, there we go.
That was really
It's one way to
bad.
get rid of the aggressions, scrub
Yeah.
the floor.
But avoidance and distraction, it's important to remember that they drag out the healing process. They don't aid the healing process at all.
Sometimes busyness facilitates readiness.
Mhm.
It gives you a little distance.
Right.
A
Yeah.
little distance, a little interlude, if you will.
Right.
And then you're more ready to sit with it.
Yeah. It can be used consciously and purposefully and be beneficial. How about the last one I have here today is, but I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget. So I won't move on.
So you're just gonna stay there forever? And I never
You can't
thought
forget.
about it like that.
You can't forget.
You can't.
There's no danger of forgetting.
Never.
Lucinda?
That's that mistaken thing that it's disloyal. to forget.
Ah, it's disloyal for me to move on.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
What's that,
I didn't know that.
in the Chocolat movie, the gal that was still wearing black because she was in mourning for her husband.
Right.
Yes. And this is in the 50s, I think, or he died in World War II. No, World War I. She's been in mourning for 35 years or something like that.
Too long. It's okay. You're fine.
So healing is not about forgetting. They have nothing
No,
to
it's-
do with one another.
No, it's nothing to do with it.
It's about being able to enjoy the warm memories without pain.
Right. Or else every time you think about it, you're just gonna feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I am looking forward to starting this book study, and it's to serve as both a book study and a support circle. So let people know if you know anybody that might be going through that process or has put off going through that process or just wants to know more about one of these processes that all human beings face at some point in time. That'll be starting February 11th. Is there anything else that wants to be spoken at this time?
There's one that we've missed.
Okay.
There's a timeline on how to get, and when to get over grief.
Okay, so there's a timeline.
Grieving is individual, there's no amount
Right.
of time.
No.
No, it's been 3 months and then, are you still grieving?
Right,
maybe.
yeah.
You know, and we can put that timeline on ourselves, or
Right.
we can subtly get it from other people.
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember in days gone by, there was this, when you lose a spouse, you know, it's almost like the wearing black for a year. It's like 1 year was the marker point that you were allowed to be in your grief.
And you were expected to be.
And you were expected to be in your grief and to show it outwardly.
And you weren't expected to move on.
Right. And if you did,
And if
oh
you
boy,
did-
judgment comes.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially for females, the widow Douglas.
Oh,
and
yes.
Widow Jones.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Widow.
Right, yeah.
Every.
Because
Yeah.
grief isn't a process that ever actually ends, we just learn to carry it or be with it, then our moving on in what looks like moving on to the world around us has nothing to do with the fact that we're not still grieving. And, you know, human beings can carry both.
Yeah.
We can carry both. There's, you know, this and I'm still grieving and I'm making the choice to move myself into a new home, into a new career, into a new relationship, even while I continue my grief process. And it's really not for any of us to judge somebody else about how they move through their process.
Well, I was just thinking in terms of that will always be there,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that you can't start over.
Right.
That can't mean that you know, so, that there can't be something fresh. So if someone, even when their spouse has only been dead for a little while, you know, and I know a couple who were married for over 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And within a few months, he was dating someone else.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say? Did he forget her? No.
No.
I
He'll
think it means he
always-
had a good relationship the first time around and wanted another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll always love her.
Right.
But this, he misses that in his life.
Right. When we're talking about loss of a partner, someone who really loved you, would they want you to just shut your life down and not move on?
No.
Is that what they would want for you?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. They would want you to be happy as you could be in whatever way brought that happiness. That's what a true love would want. Anything else?
Just had one, John Pavlovich's essay that I borrowed heavily from in the meditation Teze. One of the chapters is called Things You Should Never Say to Somebody That's Grieving.
Uh-huh.
And the one that jumped out the most is the one I've heard the most is, they're in a better place.
Right.
Don't-
Yeah.
Better.
Don't tell me that when I'm grieving.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
There's a whole list of things you should never say to
Yeah.
someone who's grieving.
Don't tell me they're better off without me.
Will be right.
That's not-
Don't tell me I'm better
Yeah.
off without them.
We'll be talking about those things and how to be with a bereaved person in a way that's supportive as part of that book study and circle. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting because I lost my dad when I was 25. I'm 43 now, and he had cancer, and it was like the beginning was like the shock, you know, and the anger, and then I was angry at God, and then I was like, how could this, you know, so I went through all those stages. But it's interesting because my mom became like a counselor during that time, and she got like trained, and so that was really helpful because me and my sister and her would talk, and because we had that close bond, we were able to talk about it and feel it and cry, and you know, but that I would say there isn't a timeline, because it would be like maybe 10 years ago something reminds me and I just like have a cry, or I miss them, and I think I just learned like, okay, if you're feeling it, just like feel it, like don't push it down. But it's not like one of those things that has like a timeline.
No, not
but
at all.
I definitely feel different now, and my mom got remarried, and she married this guy that just like treats her just so well, and she has a better relationship with him than she did with my dad. And so now I'm like happy for her, and it's like, so it's weird how like you don't see what's gonna come. You know, so if you can just see like, okay, something good is coming, you're just gonna have to go through it in this moment and miss that person. So
it's we who change around the grieving process. You've changed and shifted how you hold it. It doesn't mean you don't experience moments still. But how you hold the whole circumstance is very different than you did at the beginning.
Yeah, because now I don't think it's unfair. I think in my 20s I felt like everything was unfair. That was part of that.
That's the unfair time of life.
Yeah, because I had this really like growing up Christian. I mean, I've shared this before. It was like this very like bubble mentality of there was no understanding about suffering or loss or pain, and you just tried to pray everything away and like, God, rescue me from this. So there was no intelligence around like, yeah, this stuff just happens. It happens to every human. So I think I was really like, oh, I'm not supposed to go through this till I'm like 60 or 70, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make sense, you know? So I think it's part of that is like growing up and being like, yeah, sometimes things, everyone goes through.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen.
And like, it's not, like people that are Christian usually think like, well, if I pray about it, then it's just gonna make everything better, like automatically, and that's just not how it works.
Well, I want to step in right there though, because there's two things that I'm hearing. First of all, we're saying Christian like it's one thing. And it's not really.
There's a lot of
There are branches by the thousands. So we need to be careful of that. We also teach that whatever is going on, being engaged in prayer and meditation around it is a healthy thing.
Does help,
And it
but
certainly,
the fact that it's the only thing.
or that it will instantly make it the way we'd rather have it be.
Instantly is also partially.
So it's that, you know, it's good for us in our interior life to be engaging with that inner wisdom. It doesn't necessarily make it the way we would prefer it to be.
No.
That's not. That's not even what answered prayer looks like.
Nope.
We have a mistake about what an answered prayer looks like.
Like the Quakers say, when you pray, move your feet.
When you pray, move your feet. Yeah. All right.
And not all grief is necessarily bad. Every job I've lost has led to a better job.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can grieve something and then be led to something better. So grief is not bad at all. It's a natural part of human existence. It's a natural part of our life. Whenever there's a loss, grieving is what naturally follows if we let it.
Inescapable.
Inescapable. So I'm going to begin our closing prayer today by sharing from Unity Magazine. There was a piece of writing from June 6, 1980 that I stumbled upon.
Wow.
And it was entitled, I Take the Wings of the Morning. Out of night's darkness, I awake to a new day. My soul takes the wings of the morning. I rise out of feelings of grief or loss. I soar in spirit above earthly care. Sorrow turns to joy. The dawn breaks in my soul. Yesterday's fears, yesterday's problems, yesterday's needs are as nothing. They dissolve and disappear in the clear shining of the morning. I take the wings of the morning and view my world from heights of truth. I see the beauty hovering over all, the light that casts a lovely glow. I see the grandeur of the universe, the marvelous spirit of the people of the world. Joyous and free, unfettered and unbound, I take the wings of the morning. I rise on wings of prayer. I am one with God. God is one with me. And so right here and now, I see this as the process of grieving. We begin at the ground level, and over time, we climb into our next yet to be. We are changed by our loss. We are formed. And so I know that as we stand right here and right now, that there is one living universal presence that is with us, living in, through, and as each of us always. And together as spiritual family, we hold this morning and any time that we spend together as a healing time, a time for reconciliation within ourselves and with one another, a time of letting go of what no longer serves our journey, a time of feasting on what nourishes us and grows us in the new directions of our new life and new beginnings. We make this journey of transformation supported by one another and by our willingness to do our own internal work, to follow the internal call, to be led by a deeper wisdom, and to step into the part of beloved child of God. Thank you, Spirit, for the love and support of spiritual family, and for the many, many blessings of this day and every day. Thank you for the abundance of the earth, for the countless hands and hearts it took to bring our feast to our table this afternoon. So releasing this prayer now in deep faith that you are ever present and always listening, that heartfelt prayer is always answered. I trust and know that it is already unfolding in your divine order and timing. A new life is already unfolding for each one listening, for our world as a healthy and whole global community. And so in deep faith, I simply let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. What a great conversation today. I hope if you're available at the times that our circle is offered, you'll consider jumping in. I think it'll be a really healing time. So we're going to bring this part of the morning to a close, but before we do, we offer an opportunity for you to share of your financial good with our community so that we might grow it and expand it and then offer it back out. We are an independent, self-supporting organization, and your financial gifts are what make it possible for us to be here. So we thank you in advance for your generous hearts. And we give thanks for the infinite abundance of spirit that is moving through you right here and now. And today, as we engage in this spiritual practice of circulation, we're going to share a video that Marsh brought in. Do you want to say a couple words about it at all?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
I collaborated on this back in the Obama administration. And to bring things back to grief, when I took a look at this, I grieved that time when our leaders were more of an inspiration than a embarrassment for for lack of a better way to put it. And the fact that this whole thing came together, essentially the production company, the film company, I was friends with them and I did a lot of music for them, and I suggested doing this, what you're about to see, and they loved it. I had a friend, a woman who was part of a black congregation, suggested to her it'd be awesome to get them involved. They're like, yep, we're there, and they were. And all the kids that you'll see were my music students who are now adults with their own kids.
Nice.
But it was, yeah, I mean, I think you'll understand what I mean when you'll see this. You'll remember, oh yeah, that kind of was how it was once upon a time. Well, some of you will remember. And for others, it will be a history lesson. That once upon a time, we were a very kind, much kinder, gentler nation. And in any case, yeah, so that's what this is about. And it's called Yes We Can. But it's actually called Yes We Can Climb That Wall. And so, yeah, that's what it's about.
Believe it or not the bad words that exist today used to be bad words. Yes. They were just words.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I had to change the lyrics on the song I sang earlier, because the things that I wrote then would have a completely different meaning right now. In that relatively short amount of time. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yes, let's all shut up now.
Guys, we have to figure out how we can be heard. We need to tell our story. How about music?
Started out as a kid just like me, just like the bees in the honeycomb. Got help from the neighbors and the folks at home. They learned that they could do anything at all, no matter the problem or the size of the wall.
Can you keep on climbing that wall? Yes, we can. Can you keep on climbing right to the top? Can you keep on climbing that wall? Yes, we can. Higher, 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 higher.
Watch us sparkle, watch us grow. Take one look and you will know. We got the whole world in our hands, and we're spreading the word all across this land.
We are the future, yes that's true. And everything we learn from you.
Can you keep on climbing that wall?
Yes we can.
Can you keep on climbing right to the top?
Can you keep on climbing that wall?
Yes, we can. Higher, 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 higher.
Awesome. So we take this moment to give thanks for these gifts, the gifts of love that we share, the gifts of prayer for one another that we share, the time we give to one another, talent, and of course the monetary gifts that help us keep this place solvent and help us do the work that we're doing here in the community. So I thank Spirit, the ultimate source of all these gifts, and I thank each one here for being the hands and feet of God that brought them in here today. So we pledge to steward these funds wisely and do the best for the Mystic Heart community that we possibly can. So again, thank you, Spirit. Thank you to each one, and so it is. Amen.
All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace unfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you. Let joy renew you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Now breathe it in. Love be with you. We love you. Thank you for being here. Let's go to lunch.